you let me love you forever, forever. I wanna love you. Will you let me love you forever, forever and a day, 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 day.
Happy Friday! Friday!
Woohoo!
Yay, yay! Welcome to the Melanin Way. I'm Linda. That is Abby. We are all things crash and burn. Crash and burn. Season 2, episode 13 of Match Me Abroad. Let me tell you, whoever titled this was 100% on board with
App title.
went on. Hey Joslo, hey girly, hey. Let's do some personal stuff before we start the show, Abby.
Okay.
All right, so I guess I'll go first. As if you're fam, hey, you know that I was testing out this piercing, right? And I was doing like the magnetic ones, whatever. And then last weekend I was like, I'm just gonna do it. So I did it. It hurt. It still hurts. Hey, Dr. Megan. And it's like a whole healing process, whatever. But you know, I wasn't gonna do it because Mama Linda is an African parrot and she is like strict. Tattoos, no piercings. It's been a whole thing. And so before she stopped me, I was really like stressing about it. Abby, I was stressing, like sweat beating down. I'm stressing. And then we were talking earlier this week, and she was telling me something about my nieces and nephews and how they were doing this, doing that. I was like, this is the perfect time because if everyone's acting up, let me be acting up too. So I was like, hey, FaceTime me. I want to show you something. And she's like, what? I want to show you something. So we FaceTime and I was like, hey, look what I did. And I showed it like just like this. And she said, Abby, and I know I told you already, but I'm telling our family. She said, is this like some teenage rebellion? You going through some menopause? Because if you guys don't know, as an only girl in an African family, it's very strict. You're not allowed to do anything. So there was no teenage rebellion going on during my teenage years. Like I was like straight A student. I didn't go anywhere. I came home. I cleaned the house, all the things. So now she's like, either you're like rebelling from what you couldn't rebel before, or like, are you in menopause? Oh my God, I died of laughter. My mom is hilarious.
That was pretty funny.
Second thing that I want to tell you guys. So, do you remember, Abby, the Got Milk campaign from it's the 30-year anniversary, so 30 years ago.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so it was all like celebrities. You got Milk, the mustache, la la la. They are bringing it back. They are reincarnating it, and they're bringing it back. And the last time they did it 30 years ago was because, you know, people weren't consuming milk. And, you know, present day, there's almond milk and there's soy milk and there's Jama milk and there's whatever, right? I made that up, but whatever. So I covered an event for the 30th anniversary, and I got to be a part of it. So if you
look, oh my goodness, you guys. How gorgeous is she?
This Got Milk, that would be me.
Love it.
And it's the whole full poster. I haven't posted yet. You guys are the first to know about it. I will be posting on my social media shortly. But yeah, it was super exciting because I always wanted to be like, I knew about it growing up. I knew about it and I didn't know, like I thought it was real milk and all the things. And so follow me on Linda So Girly because I'm going to post behind the scenes and what actually really happens and what the milk mustache looks like. But it was all celebrities, but also influencers. So they've changed it to say like Got Milk is not just about celebrities, it's about the everyday person. And as an influencer, you don't have to have a gazillion followers. Influencers, you influence yourself, you influence the people around you and the people you love. Thank you, Dr. Megan. Wow, beautiful. Thank you. Oh, thank you guys. Yes. So I'm super excited about it. If you see something and you're like, oh, I know that girl. That all right. On to your personal stuff, Abby.
I have no personal things going on. Oh, I'm in New Orleans right now. New Orleans. Why did I say it like that? So if you want to see me posting like what I'm about to eat, because eating is the biggest thing to do here, come hang out with me at Abby Winters 80 on Instagram or IG, Instagram or TikTok. Yeah.
And what else?
Linda, what do you know that I don't? Oh, so you guys, when we started covering Match Me Abroad, we had a visitor in the chat who was new. That was one of my exes, and we have reconnected. So Abby did a little circling the block. If you want to see that, you can also go on Instagram.
I feel like Abby is definitely not telling you. Like, you guys know I'm private, but Abby's being like bashful right now. So I'll go ahead. Anything I tell you right now is nothing that you can't find online. So Abby has reconnected with her bae, and they officially this week went Instagram official. So if you don't follow her, you all better follow her. They went Instagram official with this cute little lovey-dovey video, and everyone was like, our bestie went Instagram official. Holla.
Somebody said, so I guess she won't be on Match Me Abroad season 3. And I thought that was hilarious.
I'm super happy for her. Listen, y'all look adorable. You guys are inspiring all of us single ladies. The single ladies in the house, single ladies in the house, single ladies in the... So,
can I tell you, it feel a little...
Oh, you know Abby's on vacation.
What was that?
Give her that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Was that my warning not to say this? I don't know. Can I tell you, it does feel a little bit weird as a professional single person who always like goes out to eat by myself and travels by myself. It feels a little bit weird because I don't know. I feel like suddenly I don't have the same value.
No. Yeah. Cut out. You absolutely have the same value. You are being enhanced by, and because you are so independent, strong, beautiful, amazing, all of the things, she cut out because she doesn't want to hear all this stuff. But I will say this. As a woman who's beautiful, strong, smart, well-traveled, well-versed, you don't need a man, but this man is just going to enhance everything that is beautiful about you. So I am all for it. Thank you, Becca. Abby, you're priceless and indefinitely valuable. Period. Full stop. The end. Hey, Radella. Hey, girl. Hey. And Dr. Megan says, girl, it's okay to have a gentleman collar.
A gentleman collar.
That's it.
A gentleman collar. I'm now on Downton Abbey.
Oh my God, I'm so excited about the movie that has just come out on the 12th. They kept that secret for really well, and I can't wait to watch it.
I'm excited too.
Let's get into season 2, episode 13, Crash and Burn of Match Me Abroad. Again, at the top of the show, I said whoever titled this was on point because this was all crash and burn. And I personally am like, oh Lord, All right, we're gonna get into Amber and Victoria, who are dating Glenn and Darren, respectively. And they're on a double date, which I love. I love that they've like combined and shout out
Hmm.
Katerina. Katerina, like you might want to contact me because whatever you're putting down, I'm picking up. Because you're right. You're right about everything. And it takes these daters some time. But I said this from day one like, Katerina, this. Okay. So they're on a double date. They're doing traditional Irish cooking classes. They're going to do cottage pie. And have you had cottage pie, Abby?
So I couldn't see exactly what they were making. So is it the same thing as shepherd's pie?
It's the same thing. So
Okay,
shepherd's
yeah.
pie, because we call it in Canada shepherd's pie. So mashed potatoes on the bottom. You're gonna have your ground beef that's like all seasoned in the middle, and then you're gonna do some more mashed potatoes on top. Pipe it down in a great pan, but it's a glass pan, right? And then you're gonna put more for me you know the others. They're gonna put some seasoning on top, and you're gonna pop that into the oven and let that cook. So they made cottage pie, aka shepherd's pie, and they made some traditional soda bread, which is also good, very fluffy. Uh,
Hmm.
Loved it. Loved that they were doing that. And we find out that Amber is leaning toward Glenn because she feels he's carefree, he's fun. Um, he is exactly what she's used to. They're both extroverts, all of that stuff. So she's going to tell Kevon soon that she just wants to be friends with him. When I say my blood, oh, thank you, Dr. Megan. Dr. Megan says, girl, we see the new ear bling. Dr. Megan, it is new. I doubled down and I did it. I told my African mama it hurts. And she, if you missed it, she said, are you having teenage rebellion or are you going through menopause? One of the two things are happening right now. Anyways, Amber and Glenn, she wanted to pick Glenn. She was going to drop Kevon. And Victoria was surprised by this. So you remember they're on this double date because she's like, I'm surprised she picked Glenn because she thinks Glenn is a show off. And B, she's like, why is he wearing makeup? Like, are you wearing makeup, Mr. Ireland? Yes, he is. Because he's used to studio makeup. And because he was on TV and they're filming, he wanted to be his best self. And then because Victoria didn't have makeup that was obviously going to match him, he asked Amber to borrow some of Amber's makeup. Abby, what were your thoughts on that? Because I cried of laughter.
I wanted her to be more specific. Are we talking about like mascara? Are we talking about a little lip color? Like I wanted some details. What are they sharing?
So the makeup was thick too. Becky says, okay, so I guess because, working in Hollywood, I those questions didn't come to me. But so men and women, they wear a whole foundation and a matte powder so that you can not be shiny on TV, right? So
Mm.
he definitely had like a foundation and a powder on to keep his things shiny but not shiny for TV but not shiny like, oh, I'm sweating.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with him wearing makeup, but obviously if she doesn't want to date someone who is that concerned about appearance, then that's her prerogative. But I understand he's Mr. Ireland. He wants to present a certain way.
What are your thoughts, fam, in the live chat? Men wear makeup, and do you have a problem with that? Let us know. Jazza says eyebrow pencil for sure. He was doing all the things. Dr. Megan says, I don't like my men to be pretty, but excuse me, I don't like my men to be pretty. By that I mean wearing makeup, pretty boy style. You know what? We're not all going to be in the bathroom fighting for mirror time. Abby, I know you have a bathroom fridge. Can you imagine double the product? I mean, come on.
I mean, I personally would not be interested in that. I That wouldn't be for me because I'm not like that, you know. But I can understand it for him. I just, men have a hard enough time wiping their own butts. So can we just cover the basics first? Just don't leave skid marks anywhere. Can we get through the basics first? And, that's cool.
Oh Lord, oh Lord. Joseph says no, I wouldn't want him to wear it. Yeah, I'm not in competition with the dude I'm dating. Like, just be you, be masculine, and call it a day. So Victoria and Darren are talking about their relationship, and they're talking about how they're planning for him to visit New York City. They don't have a label on their relationship because they feel like it's too early, which, I agree. It's only been a few days of them date. Well, not a few days. It's been a few weeks, but they've only been on a few dates, right? So they're not trying to label the relationship. And I get that because, Darren is young. So Darren doesn't want to commit yet because, he's still in his 20s. He's like, I had a great time. I'm glad I met Victoria, but I'm not willing to say, like, that's my woman. And the fact that they haven't kissed yet is really concerning to me. It's really concerning because you guys have been on multiple dates, yet he doesn't feel like, if a guy's into you, he's trying to get into your pants on day one. Period. Full stop. And so even if he's a gentleman, he's doing all the things and the 2-day rule, 5-day rule, whatever it is, he's trying to get into your pants. And the simple fact that he's not even trying to kiss her is concerning to me. And the fact that they got quote unquote matching tattoos, but he's still not trying to be with her says a lot. Knowing that she's leaving the next day and nothing is happening, it's
Right.
concerning.
It is. And she didn't say there was anything else. It wasn't like, oh, we hold hands, we hug. There wasn't any other indicator of any kind of physical intimacy. So it was even more concerning that there's no attraction on his side.
That's it. So, and they've both been in long distance relationships before. Okay, I sounded crazy. They've both been in long distance relationships before, unlike Amber and Glenn, who have never been in long distance relationship before. So they know what it takes. They know that you have to have some type of connection. You can't just be like, hey, I met this so-and-so. I met Tony. And Tony's great, and we had a great time for a few days, but we never kissed. We never had any type of intimacy. Then I go back to where I'm from. He goes back to where he's from. Do you think that's going to last more than a couple of weeks? No.
You need all of it. You want all of it. You want to feel that yearning to be with the person physically, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So then Darren is like a little confused by Glenn. He's like, wow, you're doing all the things, like you're saying like this is your lady, all of that stuff. And are you willing to move to Texas? And he's like, yeah. And then Darren digs a little bit deeper in, and he's like, well, Amber's leaving on Monday. Would you leave with her on Monday? And he's like, yeah, I'd leave with her because, you do that for love. You love her? You love her?
That's a big word.
It's a huge word. What? You love her? Ray Della says, is it me? Or why would you get a tattoo with someone that's not into you? Or that you're
that tattoo didn't mean anything to him, guys. He's got multiple tattoos all over him. That meant nothing. That she was the one who said he's getting a tattoo of me. No.
That's it. He just wrapped it in with a bunch of tattoos on the back of his leg, and he can tell anyone that story is of two ghosts about anything. It has nothing to do with her. So Darren and Victoria think the whole dynamic between Glenn and Amber is super weird, and they think that they're moving too fast. And we find out they're not wrong. So after this cooking class, they decide that they're going to go club hopping. And they go to the club, and Amber loses Glenn somewhere in there. She goes to the bathroom, or he goes to the bathroom. It's not very clear, but all of a sudden he's gone. She's texting, "Where are you?" He's not responding. Then she's looking for Victoria and Darren, and she can't find them. So she's in a club in Ireland by herself, and she's upset because where's everyone that I showed up to the club with? She goes on IG, Instagram, and she sees that Glenn is still out, but he's club hopping without her. What were your thoughts on that, Abby? Because I had a lot of thoughts.
I thought that was crazy because if you're going to ditch somebody like that, you could at least be a little bit covert about it. Jeez.
It's disgusting.
It
If
was
you're
it was
if you're on a date and you know your date is here specifically to find love, and you know that she's dating multiple people, and she's leaning towards you, you guys are out on a night on the town, and you know she's not from here, and you decide that you're gonna bounce and not say bye to her, not be like, "Hey, come with me," none of that. You just leave. That shows that you really don't have any respect for her. And for me, it was all about TV. It was all about spreading Mr. Ireland's reach, because I didn't know who Mr. Ireland was until I started watching the show. So spreading his reach, internationally. You are the definition of love bombing. You're the definition of a user. And I was not okay with that. I was not okay with it. I was like, wow, you left your date at the club so you can do more clubbing without her?
Yeah.
Sounds to me like it's all about you, which I shouldn't be surprised, because last week he said he was the prize. You guys remember that? He's the prize.
And no concern for her safety. That's the other big thing. I hate men who want to be manly men and want to lead, but you're not following by being, you're not leading by being concerned about everybody's safety.
It was disgusting. I was disgusted by that. So she doesn't ever want to see him again, she says. But then the next day, she's meeting with him, and she is like, I was about to choose the wrong one. His only concern was that, what time were we going to meet? He didn't ask her if she was okay, if she got home safe. He didn't apologize. None of that. It's like, what time are we meeting? And she feels like he's not a gentleman, didn't care about her safety as she's traveling internationally. He used the L word, love word, just the same day when they were cooking, and he's acting like this. So she's a little bit confused. And she's like, he's a love bomber. And Katerina was absolutely right. Y'all, I've said this since the get-go. Katerina, she has like the ability, whatever that ability is, whatever that thing is, she has it. She knows her clients. She gets to know her clients. Hey, midwife Crystal, I miss you. He was
Crystal.
Hey, girl, hey. He
He's
was
back from across the pond.
Are you across the pond? He was foul for that, but he's also just like not credible. And I want to say, Katerina, like, sign me up. I'm all in with sign me up, have the spinoff, have me on the show, which I would never do it, but like have me on the show, or have me on the show but not really on the show. Just give me the tips, because whatever you're saying, whatever you're down, I'm picking up, because you are right, Katerina. Katerina, love you.
And you think that Glenn has shown us the worst of himself by just this, but he decides to get worse-er.
100%. Hey, y'all, I'm back in this show. Hilarious. So She meaning Amber, right, wants to meet with Glenn because she's really upset that she almost chose the wrong one. And she is calling him out on his behavior, leaving her at the club, not responding to her text messages, her being international and choosing him, and him just being MIA. And then he's like, "You really want to do this? Yeah, we're doing it."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We met, we went to cooking class, then we went to the bar, then we went into town, and you went to the bathroom, I went to the bathroom, and then he's like, I texted you twice and you didn't respond. She's like, pulled out her phone, she's like, show me where you text me twice. Show me, because I don't see anything. Don't ask me who that is, guys, because you guys are like that.
And he did not pull out his phone to say, okay, maybe it didn't go through, but I can show you where it is on my phone. He didn't do that.
No, he sure didn't, because you know what? He was gaslighting. And she's like, I went home because you left me, and you left me to my own devices in a foreign country by myself late at night. And she's like, that's not right of you. She's like, that's super messed up. And what time did you get home? He's like, well, what time did I text you? She's like, oh, at 5 a.m. He's like, oh, I don't know what time it was. And she's like, yeah, that's not cool. And then when he said, you need to calm down, y'all, anytime you tell someone to calm down, they're not going to calm down. Okay? They're actually going to get more irate, because how dare you tell them to calm down?
And she wasn't not calm.
Right. Up until
he was talking like very level.
Right. Up until this point, she was just making her point. Right. So she's super pissed, and she calls him an attention whore, a liar. And he's like, oh, you know, when people are fighting and they name call, that's when you know, like, they're not worth it. And no wonder you're single. She got pissed, you guys. She was so mad. She slaps the Guinness out of his hand. She calls him the B word, and she walks out. Now, I definitely don't agree with the violence of it all. I do agree with her losing it, but I don't think that she should have, because that was her Guinness, right? She bought that Guinness, and she was sitting there, and that Guinness was sitting there, and he decided to take a sip of her Guinness without asking, which is a whole separate story. But I don't think that she should have slapped the glass out of his hand, because as a foreigner, you don't know the rules and regulations of that country, and that could be seen as an assault. And Abby, I want to get your legal opinion on that, but I wouldn't take risks like that. And B, just as a Black woman, because you guys, I love Amber. I think she's the breakout star of the season, but I've been like reading Reddit and being on social media, and a lot of you guys don't like her and are saying bad stuff about her. And I see that it's that same stereotypical Black woman thing. Oh, her hair. Oh, she's too flamboyant. Oh, she's too loud. All the things that you guys stereotypically say about beautiful, dark-skinned Black women, and it makes me sad, right? But then I also see the state of America, and so I'm not surprised. But like this thing that she did, I could see how those that are talking crazy about her are gonna blow it out of proportion, because you guys are sticking to the stereotype of Black women. Abby?
This is a good lesson in, I don't know what that was. But this is a good lesson in not putting yourself in situations that are unnecessary. So he blew her off. She knew that she didn't want to see him anymore. So this conversation perhaps wasn't even necessary, right? A lot of times we seek closure in situations that don't require any. We could just walk away from Glenn without ever having this conversation. The second thing that I was thinking about was the person whose job it is to clean up the mess. I don't know whether or not this is considered an assault in Ireland, but I do know it leaves a mess behind that somebody has to clean up, and that's rude.
Agreed. They're going to hate us no matter what we do. Be yourself at all times. Love that, Dr. Megan. True, she didn't need to meet him again. Yeah. Listen, you you guys already know how I am. And if you don't, I have lots of stories I could tell you, but what you're not about to do is leave me at the bar and then I'm going to meet up with you the next day, because I'm not meeting up with you the next day, period. Full stop. That's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. If I don't like it, I'm gonna tell you I don't like it. If you do it again, I'm gonna give you a second warning, and then that's it. That's it. Do you want to add anything, Abby, before we move on?
No, that's it.
Becca says, I think she's great too. I also have a loud, boisterous laugh, and I know that can be a lot. You know what, Becca? It's not a lot. I have a loud laugh, and people love it. And I've embraced it. And also I can't change it. So it is what it is. Moving on to Monica. When I say I was screaming at the TV, Monica, you know, when we started this season, you were my favorite. I was like all about you, supporting you, girl. And I was screaming at the TV when I watched this episode because you've lost your mind and you're single for a reason. So Monica really felt it was hard to say bye to Bernardo, which is the guy that she didn't choose because he was for the streets. But for some reason, that's what she wants. So she made a decision for Bruno, who, you know, was the more in line with being in a relationship, settling down, being exclusive, being long-term, all the things. And you know, Bruno is in line with her values and beliefs. He wants to visit her in California and wants to meet her mom and her daughter and figure out how they're going to make this work. And Monica's like, yeah, I'm not comfortable with my choice. Her heart is bleeding for Bernardo. And her heart is telling her she didn't do the right thing. And so she's going to have a conversation with Bruno. Now, when I say I was screaming, I was screaming. And I'm screaming because clearly your heart hasn't told you the right things all season.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was thinking, if she's blowing off Bruno, or if she's planning to blow off Bruno and just go home single, like not dating either one of them, I'm like, okay, that's fine, because to me, Bruno wasn't all that great anyway. But if she's thinking she's going to go back to Bernardo, I think that's ridiculous. So which is it that's happening?
She thinks she's going to go back to Bernardo. She is calling Bernardo before she leaves, hoping that he takes her back. And then while she goes back to California, she's going to try to keep that connection together. That's what's happening. She's not just leaving single and like, oh, this is a great experience for me. That's not what she's happening. She thinks she found love with Bernardo.
Monica.
Mm-hmm. So sorry, my note says this is friggin' ridiculous, because it is. I hate when things are ridiculous to me that don't make sense. This is friggin' ridiculous. She feels like she's a horrible person, and my note says SMH. You're not horrible for the reasons you think you're horrible, because you're grown, you can make the decisions that you're making, but you're acting like a teenager. And this whole like, oh, it's Bernardo. It was always Bernardo. It was always Bernardo. The same guy that decided that he wanted to do football and hang out with his friends and get you as a booty call, even though he had plans with you. The same guy that told you that he's not thinking of the future. He's only thinking of the present day.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. The same guy who had absolutely nothing to say when you said you were choosing Bruno. He didn't say, but I wanted to show you this. Or I wanted to do, he had nothing to say.
When the same guy who was asked by the matchmaker, Louisa, you know, what are your future plans? He's like, I don't have any future plans. This is fun while it lasted. I live in the present moment. That same guy, that's the same guy you're choosing.
Mm-hmm. Same
Okay.
guy who said, "Yeah, I want kids." Oh, you don't want kids? Okay, now I don't want kids either.
Right. But then literally said that he's cool to have fun and see where it goes. And then Luisa told us, some of the Brazilian guys, because they want to hit it and quit it, will say whatever you want to hear. So is that who we're talking about, Monica? Because you sound crazy. So then my note says, oh my God, I cannot. Because guess what? She's crying again because Bruno has come over. He's got a gift for her. She's like, we have to talk. And Bruno's like, what's going on? What's wrong with you? Because she's crying, because she's been crying and crying this whole season. Like, you're just crying so much. It's friggin' irritating. And then she's like, Bruno, you're everything. You're perfect. But I don't see us working out. You're not right for me. You deserve the big love. And Bruno's like, what? Like, you don't want to try to work this out? You don't want to try to wait? You don't want to, because literally y'all have been on 2 dates. So you sound crazy, not just to Bruno, but to me. You sound crazy. You've been on 2 dates and two great dates with Bruno. If you want to call them 2 great dates, you went rollerblading, then he cooked you dinner. I have feelings about that, but whatever. That's your thing. But Bernardo, you went on 1 group date with his friends. You slept with him. Then he stood you up, but he's your choice?
Right.
Make it make sense.
It doesn't make any sense,
Group
Monica.
date.
And she says something like, "Oh, I've had to make rational choices my whole life to protect myself, and I want to follow my heart this time." Ma'am, no. If this is what your heart does, no. No.
There's this guy on Instagram, I think I'm 6'7", and he does this whole thing, and it's either like, ooh, sensational, or he's like, no. Monica, sensational, and no at the same time. That being said, I just don't get it. You went on a group date and he stood you up, but he's the one. And he's only the one because you're thinking with your other head. And girl, both Abby and I told you, get that out of your system so that you can think straight, because you're not thinking straight. You're thinking with a little, and it doesn't make sense to me. Because it's been so long. Now you're like, oh, he's the one. And he's not the one.
You guys, we need to take up a collection to get Monica a rose.
So Bruno's like, I don't understand what you're talking about. And she's like, the other thing is I really care about Bernardo. I like him. I'm sorry. I don't have any other words. And Bruno's like, is that all? He's like, I brought you this gift. This is insane, but I guess this is life. He starts crying, but he's like, you know what? You're forgiven. Have a good life. That's all. I think you're an amazing woman, but you really need to better understand your feelings 100% as a 40-plus-year-old woman. You need to understand your feelings because you're acting like a teenager and you're choosing. I still don't understand. What are you choosing? Bernardo made no effort towards you. You literally had issues with them and you were texting him. Here are our plans. Where are you? He's like, I want to be your booty call. And then even when you did not choose him, he didn't fight for you. And now you're going to go beg him to come back to him? Are you crazy?
This is some kind of punishment ritual. Why are you punishing yourself, Monica? Why do you not think that you're worth more?
Facts. The live chat is cracking me up. Y'all, yes. Yes to everything you're saying in the live chat. So, he says good luck and best wishes to you, and he leaves. And he's like, I'm heartbroken. And not because I'm heartbroken because I was so in love, but I'm heartbroken because this doesn't make sense. And I agreed with that. I was like, I agree with that. It doesn't make sense at all.
Mm-hmm. Very much agree.
Moving on to Harold. Now, who knew the guy on the spectrum was going to be the one that really paid attention to what the matchmakers were saying and implemented in his dating life? Now, Harold went to almost the finish line and then he messed up. And I'm like, oh, Harold, Harold, oh my gosh, of all the people, considering this is Crash and Burn episode, you're not crashing and burning. You really learned from all your previous mistakes and you've really implemented everything that Dolly has told you. I'm so for it. So it's the final call for him, right? Meaning he's supposed to be going back to the US and he's having his final date with Amber. And he has realized that he needs to stay calm. And one of the things I love that I talk about you guys about traveling is getting to know people in the service industry, whether that is a server, that's your front desk, that's your bellhop, that's your driver. They really see the day to day and they can make break your trip. And when I say they can make your trip, they can really make your trip. And I know that for a fact. And Kahoy, his driver, I love the fact that him and Amber both do this. They know their driver's name. They address them like, hey, Kahoy, when they get in. And I just love that. And I think it's important to incorporate in your travels because those people are the people that are going to really help you out. Plus, it's just kind and it's the right thing to do. So anyways, Kahoy is like, Harold is telling him this is going to be like my final date and blah, blah. I really like her, all this stuff. And Kahoy's advice is like, stay calm and relax. And I really hope the best for you from my heart. And I just thought that was such a special moment, Abby. You know?
It was super cute.
Really was. So Harold has arranged a sunset cruise with a 4-course meal.
Harold with the planning.
You guys, Harold with the planning and also doing things, right? We had that staycation or whatever that was with Amber and Kevon where they didn't go anywhere. Like, you're still on holiday, so go and do things. And that's what I love about Harold is that between the like indoor skydiving, the other boat trip, and now this boat cruise with the 4-course meal, and then also the dinner date with like the barbecue. He's really like in a Korean barbecue. He's really into it. He's really planning and researching, which I can't say that everyone has been doing.
No.
So sunset cruise with a 4-course meal. And what I thought was really adorable, Abby, was that he was like comparing it to science and math. He's like, in science and math, if you limit the variables, you'll have a positive result. And so I had a great positive result on our previous boat cruise. So I'm going to do that again. And hopefully I'll have another positive result. You're adorable. So here's the thing. He really heard Dolly about if he extends his trip, he needs to stay in Singapore and explore on his own and allow Amber to date on her own terms. I was like, okay, yes, Harold. Yes, that's exactly it. You heard it, you ingested it, and now you're regurgitating it so you understand it. Is that what happened?
No. The phrasing was off. The phrasing, I know he didn't intend it to be that way, but that phrasing was not good. That phrasing was a little scary, and I could understand if Amber was off-put by it.
Oh, listen, he was doing so well. So they sit down, they get on the boat. He asks about Jo, which is her friend that is on Harold's side, right? Harold won her over on the group date. And then Amber talks about how she really thinks that her friends will really like him. And then he's like, I think my friends will really like you. So like, this is great. And, one of the things he said about this experience and dating and Dolly being his matchmaker is he learned that one, you need to listen, which is absolutely true. and you need to be patient. You can't push things. Everyone's on their own time frame. And, when you're dating someone that you don't know what their whole situation is. So you can't push and force your time frame on them. So being patient is going to be very important. And if it's going to work, it's going to work, right? So he learned by spending time with Amber and by listening to Dolly that these things are important. And again, this is where I was like, out of all the people on the show, Harold being on the spectrum is the one that's really actually listening and learning and implementing. Because I got to tell you, even my favorite Amber, it took Amber to go off the edges to realize, oh, guess what? Katerina was right.
Mhm.
I've been saying Katerina was right from get-go. What did I say last week, Abby? I said, I don't want any of these daters to make their own decisions. I want them to all just listen to their matchmakers. And you guys can go watch the episode. That's exactly what I said. Because clearly the decisions you are making are not working. So he sits down and says to his Amber that it's possible this is our last date of the trip, but I want to spend more time with you. And Amber says to Harold, that made my heart like just go poo, 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 ah. We have good chemistry, Amber says. And it's been like an intensive dating camp. And this is different than how I've ever dated. And that's huge. I wish he would have heard her more in that, Abby, because that was her opening up. But he didn't hear her enough because he's like, oh, well, I don't want to scare you away. And he's like, because we've had good times. We've laughed. We've cried. And she's like, we've cried? When have we cried? He's like, oh, tears of joy. She's like, well, maybe tears of perspiration because it's so hot in Singapore, but we haven't cried. And then he's like, I'd like to spend more time with you. And so I'm going to stay in Singapore so that I can spend more time with you. No, that is not what Dolly said to do. No. Because
Harold.
Amber's face was like, oh, what? Can you imagine? Okay. I'm going to give you an example because it's not relevant anymore. And so you guys can do whatever you want to do with that information. So as I told you guys, and oh God, is Rodella still in the live chat? Rodella, ignore what I'm saying. So beginning of this year, I met a race car person. And what is my point? Why am I saying this to you guys? Let me look at my notes again. Oh, more time with you. Gotcha. So we spent a lot of time getting to know each other. And, long distance, he travels a lot because obviously he's like city to city because they're racing. And like, hey, come city to city with me, blah, blah, blah. But I also need to know, like, what's the end game, right? Like, I need you to be a planner. Also, I'm going to need you to spend more time. And I've said some things to him that because I know what I like and what I don't like. And I'm not scared to say, hey, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. And if that's not for you, then hey, I get it, right? And he would always say, oh, no, I've been busy and I've been this, and we wake up early and we're traveling and we're on the bus and with the cars. And go live your best life. Because if you can't do like the simple basic things that I'm saying that I need, then this is not going to work. Mm-hmm. Now, if you guys know, I think if you guys watch the show, then you know that, and I won't say any names, but the person that I just mentioned, her niece and I are really great friends, and she's the one that like connected us. And one of the things that has been an issue, which I think about a lot, is that this person that I'm talking about, he's like young, you know, kind of in my age bracket, a little bit younger, but he has 5 kids. And so she's like, yeah, no, this is not, no, no. No, Linda, no.
Yeah, this is like that conversation with Glenn. It didn't need to happen.
Yeah, like, no, keep it pushing. That's it, that's all. So, you know, all I'm saying is that make sure that when you're doing something, A, you're not scaring someone away. B, you're spending time with them because you want to spend time with them and you're going to make time to spend with them, but not only because they're the center and only focus of your relationship, because that's going to freak them out and scare them away.
Right.
All right, let's move on to Sarah and EJ. EJ, are Abby and I, we have an open door policy. We'd love to still have you on the show. And so Sarah and EJ are going to be on their last day before she leaves. They're at the Fei Fei Noodle House. I was drooling because I love noodles. I love ramen. I love it all. And Sarah really likes EJ, right? She likes his heart. She says that he makes her feel special, but long distance is going to be tough, right? And she really wants him to compromise on this 2-year plan. And, you know, again, you guys have been on a couple of dates. Like, I don't know, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around. You're talking about like, oh, I need you, A, commit to me, and B, say in your 2-year plan, after 1 year of you and I being together, we're going to have a baby. We've been on 2 dates. Like, what? Like, that would freak me out too. I don't get it. I just don't get it. But she asked him, you know, is this going to be the last time I see you? He's like, no, of course not. I'm going to bring you to the airport, and it's not goodbye. It's see you later. Here's the thing that I caught, Abby, and I wanted to know if you caught it too. She asked him if he's open to coming to Texas. And he pauses. He doesn't say, like, yes, absolutely. He says, well, the reality is we need to spend more time together. What were your thoughts on that?
I had a lot of thoughts on that. He's trying to very politely assert that he wants to spend more time dating, as opposed to having this timeline bashed on him. He's trying to very politely say that, and she's not catching what he's putting down at all. I think he's saying if we get to know each other more and that's the direction that we want to go in, then I will change my mind. But as of right now, that's not where we are. And I personally don't feel like she's catching it. And I think the more she pushes this particular deadline that she has set, that means nothing, by the way. It means nothing. The more she's going to push him away.
Dr. Megan says, Sarah's coming off like she only wants a baby and nothing else. Becca says, even if they started trying after year 1, it would basically be 2 years by the time the baby was born. Dr. Megan goes on to say he doesn't want to be in this foolishness we're in right now. And I agree with everything you guys are saying. Here's the thing, you guys. How is he supposed to commit to someone that he went on 2 dates with? You guys went boxing, jiu-jitsu, or Taibo, or whatever it was. And then after that, you guys went for drinks, which is on the same date. And the second date, you went for drinks, but you were with your mom. Actually, went on 3 dates because you met in the lobby, and she brought her mom with her. And then you guys went prawn hunting. Prawn. What do I call it?
Catching? Fishing. We went prawn fishing.
Whatever. You went and got prawns to cook and eat for yourself. So literally 3 dates. And now you want him to commit to having a baby in 2 years. Like, are you, what? Oh God, these people, I don't know. But Sarah's stuck on her timeline. She's stuck on not compromising. She's like, well, I wanted to spend a year with my partner. And then the next year I'm gonna get serious about kids and have a kid. And EJ's like, you know what? We need more time with each other. We need to totally be in love. And these are questions that you answer after you're in love with the person. And he's like, infatuation and love are totally different things. How can I say, yes, I commit to you, we're in a serious relationship, and in 2 years I'm gonna have a kid with you, when I don't even know you? I'm infatuated with
Mm-hmm.
you. It's like, this is the honeymoon stage of dating, but we need more time because, yes, my business is always going to be my priority, which Sarah should appreciate, because you want his business to be a priority, because you want him to be the traditional provider, and you want to
Mm-hmm.
be a stay-at-home trophy wife that takes care of the kids. So he's got to have a successful business in order for you to have the lifestyle that you're wanting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of the things that I thought was interesting that never came up in the discussions, Sarah's talking about having a baby in 2 years, getting married, being exclusive. But could Sarah live in Singapore? Because as a long distance relationship, I think she thinks that he would move to Texas, that she can be with her friends, her business, and her mom.
Yeah, I also don't think that they've had a conversation about this. I think on his part, he's being very clear. My number one priority is my business, which means I need to be here for my business. I don't think she's hearing him say that. I don't think that he has any intention on a permanent move. A permanent move would make him not as wealthy as he is right now.
Right, but I don't think Sarah would is considering living in Singapore. I don't think that at all.
She would need to. They would need to get married and he would need to petition so that she would be able to stay longer than a tourist if they want to do things the quote unquote right way.
Yeah, but
Um,
I don't even think that she's considering, like, she's giving him this 2 year plan to get married or be together and have a kid. And she's not even saying get married. She's like, I want a kid within the
yeah,
next 2 years.
yeah.
Right. And she's like,
There,
in any man, but I want a baby in the next 2 years.
yeah.
But considering this is long distance, has she thought about, well, you're going to have a baby, where's the baby going to live? Are you planning to move to Singapore? Are you expecting him to
Mm-mm.
come to Texas? What does that look like? But that's nothing that she's even considered. And I think that she thinks that he's going to go to Texas. Like, that's what I
Yeah.
really think. So she's like, yeah, I don't know if I can compromise with this 2 year plan business. And EJ's like, well, can we meet in the middle? And she's like, I don't know. And then says, if EJ doesn't make a more concrete plan before she leaves tomorrow, you guys, she's going to have to say no to the future.
Go ahead. Say no to the future. Cut that man loose. Let him go plan nice dates for someone else and you go to a sperm bank with your mom and get inseminated and get the baby that you want and leave everybody else. Stop harassing people about your timeline.
What Abby said. I was going to say a whole bunch of stuff and do a TED talk, but I'm going to leave it with Abby. Sasha says, what's Sarah's business? Sarah has like an online like clothing and accessory store, and she makes all her stuff. So kind of like Etsy, but individual.
Yeah. I don't understand. You guys, I talked about this before, so you know what I'm about to say, but like I don't understand why she feels this insane pressure on herself that she must have a baby. Like she hasn't expressed to us, what does having a baby mean to you? Why is that so important to be a part of your life? Do you really want to pour into someone else and be able to raise someone and have them, give them morals and provide for them? Like what is it that you insist that your life, like what is so good about you as a person that you must impart that on somebody else?
Yeah, but Abby, I also did talk about this last week, and I'm going to, just in case you missed last week, I think that there are a lot of women who have been raised with traditional beliefs. And whether you believe this or not, there are a lot of women that feel like if they are not married with a kid and the white picket fence, then they're not complete. And she's one of those. people. Sarah has seen her dad provide for her mom and have the upbringing that she appreciates and looks up to, and that's what she wants to replicate in her life. And she feels like now that she's getting older, her time, her what is it? What do you guys call it? The biological
Her-
clock is ticking.
Mhm.
She wants to be able to replicate the upbringing that she had as a child. So whether that's right or wrong, that's how she thinks. That's how she sees things. Not considering that, you know, you can be full and whole as a single woman, you guys. I don't want you guys to think anything otherwise. You know, I've been offline a lot because life is lifing and this is a lot, and I just need to take breaks a lot because I'm very empathetic. But I will say this: one thing that I will always watch is true crime. And I just looked at the statistics today, and you guys can look it up because I'm still like shocked and appalled. But in America, 97% of the crime that happens, the violence that happens, is by men. And they're trying to tell me that it's 97% to 80% men. So men on men crime, and the 20% is women. But like, if I look at all the crime shows that I'm watching, it's men doing crime on women. 97%. So keep that in the back of your mind when you're
Yeah.
like trying to settle for some bullshit. Never settle for some bullshit. Always remember that you're the prize. And if something sounds awry, if something seems awry, if something seems like not cool, you know, peace out. Because guess what? There are so many other men out there that will appreciate you and not devalue you and also not take your life. Okay.
Mhm.
Talk over.
I personally think that we could be a lot more fulfilled in life if we invest more time in our platonic friendships and relationships. I'm here for Girls Weekend in New Orleans. We're going to go eat all the things. We may dance a little bit, but these are the people who every single one of these girls showed up with a girls trip gift, right? Every single one of these girls is going to celebrate how my business is doing. They're going to applaud any new ventures that I get into. And very rarely are you going to meet a man who's able to be a friend to you and support you in that way. So it feels weird to be saying it at this stage in my life, but you're whole. You're whole. You're complete. And that's that. You don't need a man and you don't need to be a mother. These are not identities that you need to have value.
Becca says there's a really great book called Love in an Effed Up World that talks about the value of non-romantic relationships. I'm going to look it up. Becca, thank you for sharing. Last and certainly not least is Victoria. I'm not really surprised by this, to be honest. So Derek, it's her last night, or was her last night, and her and Darren were supposed to hang out. They were talking throughout the day, texting and talking, and they made plans for him to show up a certain hour, and he doesn't show up. She waited. 2 a.m. She didn't hear from him. So she texted him like, "Hey, you ghosted me on my last night in Ireland. That's pretty shitty of you." Didn't respond. And then at 7:42 in the morning, he's like, no, he responded and said, no, so sorry, my phone died. Now, when I said I choked, I choked on the bullshit. I choked. Even if your phone died, your phone didn't die before you made the plans with her at the specific time that you were supposed to show up. So what are you even talking about? The fact that you want to insult her intelligence is mind-blowing to me. If you said, hey, we're going to meet up at 7:00 and at 6:58 your phone died, you still knew that you're supposed to show up at 7:00 at your designated time and place. So what are you even talking about? And then to have the audacity to act like she doesn't know that you ghosted her, and at 7:52 be like, no, sorry, my phone died. But hey, let me take you to the airport. No. But one of the things that I loved, that again, when I said last week, I don't want any of these daters to make their own decisions. I just want them to listen to their dating coaches. One of the things that I thought was beautiful was Victoria was like, you know what? Katerina again has taught her to stand up for herself. So she is going to allow Darren to pick her up just for the simple fact that she wants to say her piece, because she was triggered by his non-response, because that's trauma that has brought back up for her druggy dad not being there her whole life, her mom not being there. So no response is a trigger for her, and
Mhm.
it upset her, and it's trauma, right? So she wants to be able to share that with him, because she also did open up to him. Mind you, it was a little like awkward and quick, but she did open up, which she normally doesn't do because she's a people pleaser. So shout out to Victoria for opening up and allowing herself to be vulnerable. And it is shitty of Darren that he's young, but he also was playing some games, clearly. So the fact that she's going to stand up for herself, I'm just here for it.
Yeah, very good. Very proud of Victoria.
Me too. So Joslo, I'm going to let April answer this question because I allowed her to choose what we covered this season. By the way, Linda, are you reviewing 90 Day? There's 2 90 Days out, Happily Ever After and The Other Way. I'm going to let Abby decide.
I'm going to let you guys decide. Drop it in the comments. What do you want us to do? Happily Ever After or The Other Way?
That is such a lawyer response. I love it.
I do agree. The Other Way is good this season.
All right. So you guys in the live chat, let us know. And we will cover whatever everyone says. If you're watching the replay, let us know then. And I think, I don't even know. I need to start. I'm so behind. Yes, Crystal. Yes, girl. Get on it. Welcome back. Welcome back to the SH. SH? No, SS.
Mm-hmm. I was going to let you have that one.
You know what? You guys already know. You already know. I mean, come on now. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You guys, for my Got Milk thing, head over to Linda Is So Girly on Instagram. I should be posting at some point. You know, I've been offline. I've needed a break, but I'm going to be back. And that being said, we will see you guys for the next episode. Where do I start, y'all? I'm overwhelmed. Linda or slang. Dr. Megan, I never said I was great at slang. I make up stuff, but if it makes sense, I'm good with it. Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye. See you soon. Midwife Crystal, yes, The Other Way. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. How does it go? Do it. Do it. What's that rap song I'm trying to do? Do it.
I don't know, girl.
Do it.
You can do it. Put your back into it. I can do it. Put your back. Is that what you're trying to do?
No, that's what I am doing. I'm not trying. I'm doing it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Put your back into it. Bye, y'all.
Oh, my.